Hello YouTube, never-ending student here. So, I'm in the middle of repairing one of these Sony Tektronix AFG 310s. They're old era single channel 16 megahertz function generators, and they're nice little units. I mean, they may not go to like 100 megahertz or anything, but they were very well made at the time, and definitely good for bench use. So I have a customer that's interested in one of them, and they all have the same issue. Like I have, well, I'm gonna give you a shaky cam for a sec. I have like those there and that one there. So 4 of them total. We're on this pallet of test equipment that I wanted to auction a couple months back. Anyway, they all have the same issue, and it's a common one when you have, these kind of membrane buttons, and this was made in like the 80s or 90s. So what happens is this carbon impregnated rubber or polymer, it just wears out. Now, sometimes you can get away with just disassembling it and cleaning the contacts with some isopropyl, and that's all it needs. In this case, it wasn't enough. The impregnation process probably just wasn't designed to last for decades for constant use. So even after cleaning that and then cleaning this, cleaning these carbon impregnated bumpers or buttons is kind of finicky, because you want to get rid of anything that's on the surface that's not conductive, but at the same time you're inevitably removing some of that carbon impregnation layer, so you're reducing the conductivity, and it's kind of hard to avoid. There are various things you can do to restore these. So one thing is you can take really soft pencil, basically for the graphite, and you can rub it in there, and that's so effective. You can take powdered graphite, like for lock lubricant is a common source to get a ton of it, and you can brush it on there, and that's more effective, although it's questionable how long that fix will last. There's, I believe, someone on EEV blog who's made a solution. Basically, he made 3M adhesive little carbon dots that you can put over these switches, and they won't touch, they stick out, and then when the button contacts them, you get contact. On AliExpress or eBay, you can also get little conductive rubber buttons that you can then glue onto here. But I was looking for a solution I could use right now, and I typically try to stock whatever I can think of that will be useful to me. One suggestion was super glue and aluminum foil. I didn't want to use super glue on rubber, just because that would be kind of a one-time fix, and then the rubber is kind of compromised after that. So if someone wanted to patch my patch afterwards, I'd kind of screw them over for future serviceability, and I didn't want to do that. Another option was HVAC tape, aluminized foil tape, and I have some of that, so I gave it a try, and the adhesive did not work well for rubber, even though it's been cleaned. It works well adhesing to other materials, but not for this. So something I do have in stock, this is adhesive copper foil. I bought it for circuit trace repair and contact pad repair. And as it turns out, the adhesive in this is quite good, at sticking to those little membrane buttons. Again, this is after they've been cleaned and wiped with isopropyl, which if you're wiping these down, especially if you're scrubbing them down with isopropyl, and they did work, you're making them not work because you're scrubbing away the conductive layer. But I took my multimeter on this and I was getting like tens of kiloohms at best, and usually more like 100 to 300 kiloohms for contact resistivity. And that's with my Pomona leads, so these are gold flashed. So it was a pretty fair comparison, apples to apples, since this is old era electronics and they use gold for everything. So all of these contact pads are gold. So it was kind of sort of working, even at 10K resistance. It was kind of sort of working for some of the buttons. But kind of sort of working isn't good enough, especially not if I'm going to be selling this to a customer as having put my name on it. I refurbished this, it works good. You can't have that. So it has to work well. But yeah, this copper foil, one side adhesive, the other side conductive, is very, very effective. And that's what it looks like there. It just cuts into teeny little pieces. You do not need total coverage. It does not matter if you're not covering the entire surface of that little button, because what it's contacting, and you've probably seen these before. I can't bring it up to the camera because it's connected right now, because this is all so I can lay the thing on it and test it. You can see those contact points right there. So it just needs to bridge one of those connections. So this is a common issue, not for this waveform generator, but for these membrane buttons, most commonly for remotes. This is an old, well-used technology. It's extremely common to find. By the technology, I mean the carbon-impregnated rubber or carbon-impregnated polymer. There's different materials used, but the idea is always the same. And a lot of the time, you end up with those just going bad. Now, if you have just some remote and it would be $20 to buy a universal remote, you don't necessarily need to go the expensive route of using materials like this. You can, if it's easy to take apart, you can absolutely go that route of graphite. Get a little graphite, sweep it onto each of those contacts, and you're good. The method of gluing aluminum is also potentially viable. I would use it on a junk remote first, just to see how well it adheres to the material. But yeah, that would probably work, and I've read of other users on forums describing that worked well. But yeah, common issue, and this is what I had on hand, and it seems to be working well, so I just wanted to share my take on the fix for this. Thank you.